Hi, this is Clara. You're watching Books and Questions, and today I'm going to talk about big books. There's been a couple different videos recently. Katie at Books and Things and Simon from Savage Reads have both posted videos recently about big books and like people's reactions to them, and I wanted to throw my bit into the conversation. I think one of the things that made me feel like I was a real reader in high school was that I was willing to read long books. And I feel like there's a certain amount of like sort of street cred to like you reading a giant book makes you look smart. At least that's what I thought as a 16-year-old. I also was still being forced to read those books and I loved them. Like I enjoyed reading them. And I find still that I have a harder time making myself read it, even when I have like motivations through BookTube or whatever. There's been a couple different times when I have started out reading along with a read along through BookTube of like there was one for the Brothers Karamazov a couple years back that I got a couple hundred pages in and then just bailed because I had not kept track well enough with the names. And so I was reading scenes and I was like, I should know who these characters are. I should know this by now, but I don't remember. And maybe they're new characters, but if I can't keep them straight, it's sort of overwhelming. And that's a Russian novel thing, not so much a long novel thing, but it can be a long novel thing too, because there are often like just many, many characters, and I find that a little overwhelming. I do better when forced to do it. So last fall, I was in a 19th century novel class where we read Dickens and George Eliot and Tolstoy, and it was really great, but it was a lot of reading and a lot of reading really large books, and it was difficult for me because I like by trade do early modern plays, so it was like particularly noticeable in that semester when I was taking a Shakespeare Marlowe class and this like 19th century novel class. So in a particular week, I was reading like Bleak House for my novel class and The Merchant of Venice for my Shakespeare Marlowe class, and it's just like it's so much more to read. Like it was hard to compare what I was even just like the process of reading these two books. Merchant of Venice, I sit down in one sitting and read it cover to cover. With Bleak House, I had a character. These are the characters. It's like a double size 8 font list that I had to like keep for myself to make sure I was doing it, and like I wouldn't let the book. I had to read it in a week, so I wouldn't let the book like leave my hands. That semester, especially, I had about 1,000 pages of reading every week, and I just couldn't let it like leave my hands, or I would not be able to get it finished in time. There was something really wonderful about being forced to read such excellent books, but it is hard for me to make myself do that if I am not being forced. And another thing that made it difficult is that I do so much close reading normally, looking at like sentence by sentence or looking at just the lines of a single small character, that I don't always know what to do with a larger work, because it's hard to do that same kind of, it's hard to know what's important if it's a book you don't know anything about, how to pick out a theme or how to pick out what's going on in a work of that size can be really challenging. And like one of the things that I was noticing watching Katie and Simon's videos is that I do get really intimidated, and I do put off reading long books just because I am concerned about how much time it'll take, and concerned that if I start them, I will be super disappointed with myself if I don't finish them, or I will feel like I need to keep like muscling through the sections I don't find interesting because it's supposed to get good at the end. You're at a risk of wasting a lot of time, which is hard to know. At the same time, I do really love longer books because you get to really be a part of the world and follow longer threads and have them all woven together. This is my recreation. Like, I read so much as work. It's hard to have such a huge investment of my time into something that is just for fun. I'm curious to know what some of your favorite long books are. Do you also find it intimidating to read long books? Are there books that you read in a single sitting? Favorite short books? Do you read plays? I really enjoy reading plays. I brought over a stack of plays as a contrast. This is like the length of works I normally read. They're super short, teeny tiny. It looks like a joke. Okay, this is getting long and rambly, so I'm going to close it off now. Thanks for watching.